Hi, and welcome to the Secrets for Total Life Success. I'm Kim Jones, your host, and I'm so excited for you to be joining us here today. We're going to explore how to be wealthy, happy, and how to create a much bigger life for yourself. We have someone that I'm so excited to introduce you to today. I've known her a few years virtually, and I'm so thrilled to get to talk to her in person and share her with all of you. So coming to us from Australia and soon to be coming to us from Tasmania, right? I'm going to introduce to you today Leonie Dawson. Hi, Leonie.
Hello everyone. I'm just thrilled to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me, Kim.
I'm so glad that you're here. Did I say that correct, where you're moving to?
Yes, well, I'm moving from the top of Australia to the bottom of Australia. So I'm moving from like the rainforest, which is all super tropical, and then we're moving to an island close to Antarctica.
Wow.
Yes.
I thought it was tropical down there, though.
No, it's not going to be tropical at all, but that's cool because I'm really excited for the adventure.
What an amazing adventure. I love that. That's part of living life fully, right?
Yes, totally. And, it's been my husband's dream to move back there for 25 years. And, it's time that, he's let me do a lot of my dreams. And it's time to let him have one of his, big bucket list ticked off. So let's go to Tasmania, baby.
Oh, I love it. What a great attitude. So, Leonie, your company, you do the Shining Biz and Life Academy, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do and what's going to make this possible for you to be able to move and continue your work in a faraway place?
Sure. So, I've been totally online and doing my own business without working for other companies for over 5 years now, and I've been blogging for a decade, and it's just kind of been this incremental process of building my business, which is now a seven-figure company, and we help women live more creatively and joyfully, and basically we work with a lot of hippies because I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a real hippie. So, kind of those who are like creatives and artists and more spiritual types, they tend to be like, oh, thank God, a business and marketing teacher for us. So that's what I do, and we have a lot of fun. And we've got staff in the US, and it's a bunch of fun. Basically, we've got about 60,000 people on our mailing list. We've got 3,000 or 4,000 people in our academy, and we also sell workbooks every year as well. So the 2015 Create Your Shining Year in Life and Business workbook. So we sell that in like 73 countries, and it's awesome and huge. And I can't believe this is my life. It's so freaking amazing. So it's great. Love it.
I love that. I love your enthusiasm, and yes, I'm an owner of the workbook this year, and I'm super thrilled as I'm working through it. It's just beautiful and takes you through such an amazing process. Thank you for creating that and sharing that with us every year. It's really great.
Oh, thank you. I can't wait to you have to email me at the end of the year once you do your review and tell me just how much of it came true, because that's my favorite bit. When people go, oh my God, look at the past year. That's the best part.
Oh, I can't wait. And I've taken myself through similar processes before, but I love having this beautiful workbook that you have and the process that you take through. I just think it's so important for all of us to really set clear goals and intentions and just be really open and honest with ourselves so that we can work and grow in the way that we want to as well.
Yeah, really. It's so funny. Why would we be not open and honest with ourselves? Because it's we're our own best friend. You might as well get super vulnerable with yourself, because it all starts here.
Right. So, Leonie, success is such a big word, and it's one I'm tackling in this speaker series. How do you define success in your own life and business, and how do you help other people get there?
It's got to be it can't be one-pronged, one part in life that's super developed and the other part hinders. I really am here to have it all. And not in a wanky way, but just like in a, like, everything's got to be lovely and balanced and feel in alignment. So, like, I really, it's so important to me to know that my relationship with my marriage is strong and it's thriving, and when it's not, we just do what it takes to get it back into alignment. We've done personal counseling, we've done relationship counseling, because that's one of my biggest values, is to be able to get to the end of this life and be there with my husband. If that's at all possible, that would be amazing to have said, I've been able to love him for 60 years. That would be so incredible, and I can't wait to see how much I love him more at that point. And I've got two children, and I really want to be able to say that I was the kind of mum that I wanted to be. I wanted to be a happy and creative mum and go on adventures with them, and I want to be present wherever I can, and I'm not going to get that perfect all the time. Like, sometimes I'm going to be human, and that's okay. But if I can keep on building that relationship, just like I build my marriage, that would be awesome. And my business as well. Like, I love being able to help other people. I really love that. And there's a part of me that wants to help as many people as possible, but it can't be at the expense of the other areas of my life.
Mm-hmm. That's really just beautiful. I love that you led with your family and your relationships, because I see it kind of like a pyramid. It's like in a company, right? The top kind of trickles down to the employees and affects everybody. However the leadership is, it affects everyone. Well, it's the same way in a family. And so when you covet those relationships and really make them a priority, and it's so beautiful what you said, because you said it's not perfect and there's things that come up. Like, we're not just looking for like happy Disney fairy tale, right?
Yeah.
Right? So, but when things come up, you work on it, and you have the tools and the strategies to do that, and you have things in place. And so I love that, because then that trickles down and allows you to be in your business and be present and serve as many people as you're able to in such a beautiful way. It's really cool.
It's true, and I forgot to mention one, like, the most important relationship of that, like, before even my relationship with my husband, it's definitely got to be my relationship with myself. If I am not taking time for me, if I'm not taking time for my creativity, my spirituality, just to sit and be with me, if I'm not taking care of my body, if I'm not doing self-care, then everything else is going to be affected. Like, that relationship with myself, that sacred union with myself, that affects my marriage and my kids and my business more than anything else. So, like, wherever I can build in to make sure that I'm thriving, it's a good thing. So, like, I've got spreadsheets we could set up to, like, so that I do, I have weekly therapy and healing and kinesiology sessions, and, I get massages at least once a week if I can, and whatever I do to be with myself, have God time through meditation and journaling. It's just so important.
Yeah, it's so important, because when we are connected to ourselves, then we can be there and be in those other relationships, like you said. That's so true. I'm glad you really pointed that out. Let me ask you a question. How do you do all that?
I'm just going to just turn my phone off.
Oh, no problem.
Yay, turned off for me. Sorry.
I've done it myself. No worries. It's hard to remember to get everything turned off before we get on these online interviews. So, no worries. So, Leonie, how do you do that? How do you balance that time? I mean, time becomes a huge thing for a lot of people. It's a time for yourself. You're a mother, I'm a mother. I know how busy we can get, and yet that time is really one of the most important things to take for yourself. And to have that for yourself, for your relationships, your family, and your business. What's your secret sauce?
I don't have a secret sauce. It's totally like by hook or crook. So, like, sometimes I feel like I'm absolutely fighting to get that 10 or 20 minutes. So it's, like, basically I just know it has to happen sometimes it doesn't happen, and I just go, all right, fair enough. But building in ways that it will actually happen for me. So for me, I realize that if I can have a shower by myself in the dark, I can, talk to God then. I can talk to Great Spirit. I can just be with myself, and that takes a little bit of the pressure off, like a little bit of the valve of needing to be expressed. Other ways that I've worked out is, I still get up with my 10-month-old during the night, and in exchange, my husband gets up early with our other daughter, and then I hand off the baby to him and say, right, I'm going back to bed, and I'm going there for 30 minutes or an hour. Do not disturb me. And he says, all right. And I go and close the door, because it's definitely been an educational process. He's not like, I hear of some men that are like, honey, just go back to bed. I'm like, no, let's be real here. My husband's not like that. And a lot of husbands just don't think that way. They're not built that way. They don't think that way. They're not women. They're not women. So I really have to be so good at expressing what I need and claiming that space for myself. So I say, okay, this is what time you can wake me up or let the kids come in and disturb me. And so I'll either go back to bed and I'll check in and see whether I need to go back to sleep, or whether I just want to sit and have quiet time on my bed and do journaling or do meditation, that sort of stuff. And then I just slot everything else into my calendar. So for appointments, for therapy, for intuitive healing, for kinesiology, for all of those things, I try and book them like 3 months in advance and get them like done every second week, and alternate them around and things like that, because if it's in my calendar, I can't argue with that.
Right. So one of the things we really love is, as business owners and entrepreneurs, is that freedom and flexibility in our schedule. And yet what I know I've learned myself, and I hear from other successful people all the time, is you still have to have structure within that so that you can create the space for that. So what you're saying is you slot things in and then you schedule around that, and yes, that way you covet that time for yourself and your work and your family.
Totally. And we've got our family structure set up as well, and just as the way it's worked for us is that in the mornings we always have family time. So right up until 1 o'clock, we're having family adventures together, or we're just hanging out at home together. 1 o'clock, our nanny comes, and up until 2 months ago, my husband was the nanny. Like, it was only us that was doing childcare, and we were just getting too crazy. It was really intense to not have any backup whatsoever. So now we've got a part-time nanny, and it's magical. It's so magical. So she comes from 1 till 5, and so I've got 4 hours, and I do 4-hour block in my office, which is not as pretty as it usually is because I've taken down everything to move. But this is my sanctuary, and so I get to come here and I get to do work. I get to lay down on the rainbow rug if I need to. Oh, no, I've taken that, right? I can meditate in here. I can journal. I love studying. I love learning more. So I'm always watching videos in here, and this is the zone. And everybody knows, like 1 to 5, like this is Leonie's time. This is like, let's leave her in the sanctuary, and that's definitely something that I've instituted.
Right, you've established that. And then you mentioned something about getting team members, people to help you out. So you have a part-time nanny, and you mentioned earlier for your business you have employees in the United States, I believe, right? So definitely. Having a team is also really helpful.
Oh, crazy helpful, crazy helpful. I mean, I have full-time staff members now, but when I was first starting out, I just got a VA, and we started out doing like 3 hours a month. And that made such a huge difference to my life. And I mean, it was so scary the first time I actually hired someone. I was like, oh, I don't even know if somebody could work with me like this. But you will always find somebody who wants to work with you in the way that you want to be supported. Like, you absolutely can. And ever since then, we just kind of ended up building up hours over, it's like a 6-year period or whatever. And now I've got, full-timers, and it's really good, so useful, 100% needed. And, we have a cleaner as well, and we live on a big acreage, so when we need some big like landscaping work done, we get people in to do that. You know, like wherever you can get support in, do that.
Right. And then that allows you to do what you're most passionate about and spend time in your creativity. So
Yeah,
important.
really, really. I mean, I could work like 24 hours a day if I wanted to, but that's going to burn me out big time, and that's not the life that I want.
Yeah. Yeah. So was there a breakthrough moment for you in your life or in your business specifically? Was there like a moment where you kind of had an aha moment or a discovery that really helped you take things and build your business to the next level?
I think it was just that firm resolve all along. You know, I've always known that I wanted to have kids, and so this whole time while I've been building my business, I've been um, really fixated on the focus of I want to have a business. I want to have my, you know, be able to share my creative and spiritual gifts. I want my dream job in the way that it looks like to me, but I don't want to do that at the sacrifice of not spending time with my kids, and not being there while they're little, and not doing the kind of parenting that I want to do. And so I've really made sure that that focus influenced every single decision that I've made. You know, do I want to do this? Like there's 100 million possibilities out there in the world. Will that impact on my family in a bad way? Will that impact in a way that means that I don't actually get the life that I want? So I always keep on taking it back to that question. That's been really helpful to me. And the other thing that's really important is that every single day when I turn up to work, I say to myself, you know, what is it I need to do to drive my business forward today? And in the book Good to Great by Tim Collins, he talks about how all of these you know iconic companies would be asked, you know, what was the breakthrough moment for you guys, and they would just keep on saying nothing. Like there's no breakthrough moment. It's just turning up every single day and just doing the work and making, you know, getting the right systems in place and you know, making sure that everything's set to thrive. And they call it pushing the flywheel, as in if it's like this huge concrete wheel, you know, when you start, it takes a long time to build momentum, but each day that you pull on that flywheel to pull it around, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So we just, you know, try and learn what works, what doesn't for us. Sometimes we totally mess it up, and I get really excited because I think, oh my God, I just learned a really great lesson, and we're never going to do that again. Like, here's how we're going to change it. And it's thrilling when you get to make a mistake. You go, okay, fair enough. Well, cop that on the chin, and let's try and make sure we don't do that again in that way. And it's all just building that flywheel. So just total commitment to your dream and turning up every single day and doing it is huge, I think. I'd love to say that I have this, you know, moment, this download from God, but I get those all the time, you know, and they, of course, each of them are mini breakthroughs, but the biggest insight, I think, is to turn up, be committed, be like a monk to your dreams, and keep saying yes or no in relevant to that, you know, to the opportunities that come up.
I love that. Be a monk to your dreams. That's one way to stay really focused, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what helped you get clear? I know a lot of people know that there's things they want to do, there's dreams they have, and then they're kind of limited by their thoughts or what they think is possible or not. What helped you get clear about what that bigger dream was for you, and how to really step into it? Was there anything in particular?
Yeah, you know, my career counselling advice to people, and it's something that I definitely took myself, is just to play. If you're not sure what you want to do in the world, you know, you want to do something, but you're not sure what, play. Write a big list of every single thing that you might be passionate about and play. See what they're like, because you'll turn up and you'll either hate it, like it sucks big time, or you'll go, well, that wasn't too bad. I kind of enjoyed myself there. Or you go, oh my God, this is it. This is the thing I want to do for life. Either way, you're going to have a freaking great time while you do that. You know, when I finished school, I could have done anything that I wanted. Like, I just was ultra multi-passionate. And so I ended up going to 3 different universities. I studied 12 different subjects. And I thought I would really love philosophy, but for me, philosophy ended up being like, all right, one of those ones like, this sucks, get me out of here, I don't like arguing. So I ejector-seated my way out of that in 2 weeks. You know, I did art classes in art history and illustration and journalism and writing and all these sorts of things. And they were all like, oh, I really quite enjoyed that. I quite enjoy that. I did an economic history class because I thought for a minute there I was going to be Prime Minister of Australia. That was one of my dreams, because I thought maybe do I want to be Prime Minister of Australia? All right, I'll go do it was Australian policy and economics, you know, to kind of gear me up to be the ultimate Prime Minister. And I realised I didn't want to be a Prime Minister, but I really loved economic history, and I was like, oh, maybe there's a business brain hiding in there somewhere, like behind all the hippie and creativity. And I kept on, you know, and it was still kind of leading me closer and closer, and I was still working and just trying to have fun wherever I went. And I ended up working as an editor for business.gov.au, which is the Australian government's website, and that was really useful for me, because I'm like, oh, I actually do really like this online world and writing, and it was kind of like all these tiny pieces start clicking together. And then I went to a Sacred Women's Circle. I was invited by somebody at work, and was like, all right, and went there, and that was my, you know, moment. I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. I want to do sacred women's transformational work, and for the rest of my life, that's it. It's my big golden thing. And so it's all interwoven into itself. You know, I still teach business and marketing as a part of that, because a lot of women want to know how to empower themselves in that area. But it definitely leads back to that self-love and that transformation. So it amazes me how much of that play and that exploration I did has fueled elements now and helped me be successful now. So enjoy those parts. Enjoy the discovery years. You know, it did take me a few years to kind of put it all together, but gosh, I had so much fun doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love your enthusiasm and how you're sharing with me how you just played in it. I mean, I think that's so important, and you don't always know exactly where you're going. Sometimes you're really clear, and sometimes people aren't. Sometimes what I've seen with clients is they get to where they think they want to be, and then they're like, this isn't what I wanted at all. And that can be really hard too, because they've put a lot of time, energy, money into this place they thought was going to be success for them and fulfilling, and it's not. And so then it's not always about stepping back or changing, but kind of making, in my opinion, sometimes you can just make a shift. You can find a way to take those skills and tools that you've learned and apply them in something that's more meaningful for you, which it sounds like you did.
Totally. And, you know, I'm always amazed when I think back to my editing job, you know, and there were so many things at the time which I just thought were dead boring, like writing business specifications documents for new websites and things like that. And I was just like, oh, God, I can't wait to blow this cubicle joint. You know, like, part of me thinks that. But now it's so funny because, you know, I have to write, you know, like, create a new website. And I'm like, how do I communicate this? Oh, I have to write a business specification document. And it just cracks me up. I think, oh, my God, all of those fantastic skills I learned have totally come back into play now. And I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for every single part it has taught me.
Oh, I love that. I think it's so important. It's like, who is it? Steve Jobs talks about it in that commencement speech he's famous for, where he talks about how you can look back and connect the dots. And you can't always see that when you're on the journey, but you can go back and look. And when I work with young people, I share that a lot because you don't always know exactly how these things are going to play out. I mean, I worked at summer camps and I taught water skiing at a resort, and I did all these things because they were fun and I was playing before I started my, real life and jobs. But I always find that those things come back to be really resourceful skills and tools that I learned working with people from other countries and just doing different things. Like, it all plays in and connects the dots for me about why I'm doing what I'm doing now. And here I am again in my job talking to people around the world, and I have comfort with that.
Yeah.
It's fun. You never know what things are going to work.
Really, exactly. And I love what you said before about how you learned that in order for everybody to learn, you have to communicate in different ways, like the same thing over and over again, just said in different ways. And that's like 100% true, like 100% light bulb.
Yeah. Well, we even hear things differently at different times. I know even like I can take a book and read it today, and it'll mean something different next year and the year after when I read it, because we're just in different places, different mindsets. And so, hearing things over and over is a good thing, right?
It is. And I think that's my friend Denise Duffield Thomas, who wrote Lucky Bitch. She says that really beautifully. She says, people are always like, well, I shouldn't do that because other people are doing that in the world. Like somebody's already talking about that. And she's like, yeah, but everybody needs to hear from the person they get. And so you've got to say things in your voice, because then the people who are supposed to get it from you will get it, because we all have different ways that we talk and share and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. I'm so glad you shared that. I hope everyone really heard what you said there, because there's always someone that needs to hear it from you, from me, from all of you out there. We have our own angle and our own take on that, and we're going to connect with different people in different ways. So it's really beautifully said. Thank you for reminding us of that. Let me ask you another question. Being that this speaker series is on success, how does somebody know they get there? Or how does someone, I always like to say, define success on your terms? Because what success is for you is different than what it is for me, is different than what it is for someone else. So how do you help people get there, or what do you recommend? Are there any daily tips or rituals or habits that help someone really connect with what that is for them?
That's a really good question, and to be vulnerable, it's definitely something that I am still healing within me, is to know that I'm actually going to be able to achieve the success that I want in this life, because I think we all have these blocks in a way that say, what, I'm never going to be successful, I'm never going to have exactly what I want, and I'm not worthy of that in some way. And so that, for me, is like definitely a part of the puzzle, is to do, the therapy, the intuitive healing, the kinesiology work, in order to kind of heal those blocks from allowing me just to feel that, that success. And to know that I've done good enough. Do you know what I mean? That, because I think for a lot of people who are geared that way, overachievement becomes a real addiction. And it's an addiction to try and fill that hole, to say, what, I'm allowed to be here in this world. And that's definitely something that is in my heart that needs to heal, because I know that my soul knows this isn't true, but there's a part of me that says I have to do more than anybody else in order to be allowed to be here on this world.
And so it's really a work in action.
Yeah. And to be vulnerable enough to say, what, this is the truth for me, where I am right now, and then to do those things to heal that place. Because I think unless I heal that stuff, I'm never going to be successful. Feel successful. Sorry, Freudian slip. And I am not going to be. I can define success over and over, but until I heal that inner shit, I'm not going to be able to fully claim it. So that's my journey.
Yeah, no, it's such an important thing to look at those limiting beliefs and, like you said, those blocks inside of us, because we all have them. I mean, it's reality, and I super just appreciate you being so vulnerable and sharing that with us, because I think that's something that is really hard for a lot of people to go there and to own and be vulnerable in that way with themselves. So you're modeling such a beautiful process. Thank you.
I'm kind of basically an open book. Like, it really doesn't work with me to pretend to be anything but what I am. So I might as well just go, you know what? No, this is what I'm dealing with, and I know that eventually I'll get over it. But this is what I'm doing in the meantime to heal it.
Right, right, and it's a journey, and I always like to use the term right now. You know, what is success for you right now? Because what is success for you right now is wherever you're at right now, and a year from now or where you want to be in 10 years is different, but where you want to be in 10 years isn't what we're celebrating today.
That's true. I love that. Oh, I love that. That's a good question. Good coaching, Kim Jones.
Well, wonderful. I'm glad you like it. We spend a lot of time talking with people about this topic, right? Helping people heal. So, question for you as we're kind of moving through this interview. I want to be mindful of everybody's time. Is there a book that you feel, and I'm sure you've read many great books, but is there one that you feel might be really appropriate or that you would recommend for our audience? I'm trying to kind of get a collection from all of our different speakers here on the series so that we can leave our listeners with a really nice reading list. So is there anything that kind of top of mind for you would recommend?
I'm going to add the creative hippie element to this, and I would say Succulent Wild Woman by Sark. I think every woman should read it.
Sark. Can you repeat the name of that book again?
Succulent Wild Woman.
Succulent Woman?
Wild Woman.
Wild Woman. Oh, I love it. What a great title. I just wrote it down. I'm getting a bunch of new great tips in my box too. So thank you for sharing that. Is there, and then the other question I was asking everybody was, is there any piece of advice you received that has helped you specifically in your business to, you know, really grow and get to this next level of where you are, where, I mean, you have a wildly successful business. So was there any advice you got along the way that really helped you in getting there or crossing that line and taking things to the next level?
I think the best advice is basically just off that quote that you should look at the 5 people that you surround yourself with and average yourself out from that. And if like your people that you're hanging out with the most and communing with the most, if they're not like going in the same direction as you want to go, then you need to like lovingly get some new friends and start putting your attention on people who do get it. And you know, for me, like it was like a couple of years ago, it was like a big gaping wound for me. I was like, I just feel like I don't have any other business women friends who are you know, really successful, really spiritual, who that I feel like I can genuinely learn from. And I try to say that without sounding like an ass, but it's true. When you're a giver, you know, you constantly just give out to people. And so I was constantly teaching, you know, everybody I came into contact with, and I was thinking, man, like I need to have people in my life as well where they're extending my view of what's possible. And so I ended up writing a list of, you know, and they were chicks that a lot of them I didn't even know, or people I met once. And I just knew they were kind of could potentially work. And I contacted them all and said, I want to put a group together. I want to have a mastermind and have it really intimate, super, super intimate. Like there's 14 of us now. But we have a Facebook group and we are in there talking every single day, supporting each other in every area of life and teaching each other how to know better and do better. And they just blow my mind every single day on what's possible, like what's doable, because there's so little that I know, and I'm so grateful to those women for teaching me even more how to be more empowered, more successful, how to get my shit together about systems, how to think about investing, how to own the fact that, that I'm a millionaire now, and that means maybe I should, take better care of myself and maybe buy myself some shoes, because I'm really naturally very, very stingy. And I just totally forget to buy clothes for myself and do nice things to myself. And so they kind of teach me a lot of that as well. And that's just so important, to be around women who inspire you and to make them a real priority in your life. I feel like that's really important. And if you don't have that right now, then you actually have to consciously create it. It did not happen to me by accident. It was really scary for me to ask people to do it, but it made such a difference to me, and I give thanks every single day that I've nurtured those relationships and that I continue to be around women that are my new normal.
I love that. It's so important what you're talking about. You're saying how community is so important, and then being around other people like you, because it just helps you live into what I'm hearing you say, like a much bigger life for yourself. It opens your eyes to new things that maybe you wouldn't have thought about in your world, and it kind of spreads that out so that you can dream bigger and live bigger and in what's meaningful for you. I think that's really beautiful how you said that, and it's so true in my own life. I've seen the same thing with my community and the connections and the people that I surround myself with. It really helps us feel alive, right?
Yes. And I mean, wherever you can take that to be in real life as well, it's like 100 times more powerful, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, like at the moment, my mastermind is really spread out all over the globe, and so wherever we can, we try and organise local meetups and things like that. But you have to put a real priority on it, because live is where even more juice is. But if you can't do live, then for God's sake, do online. Whatever you can do to foster those relationships, have them. It's so important.
Yeah, it really opens our mind to thinking. And when you can do it online, you can always set up, like you said, live meets and
Yes.
Meet up and have some fun and play a little bit.
Yes, play. It's so important.
I had to bring play back into it because I love that you use that word. Having a recreation background, I'm a big person that's all about play, because I think we learn so much through that, so about ourselves and about people.
It's actually my word for the year, so I'm really delighted it keeps on rearing its little head.
Yeah, that's great. I love the word of the year. I use that with my clients as well, and it gives you a theme for everything you do. So play, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to dive into it.
It's so happy. So happy. So let me ask you, I know you were going to share about a free gift for our listeners today, something that they can come play with you a little bit more and have some fun and grow along the way. So let me have you just share that with everybody real quick.
Oh, sure. I mean, if you guys are called, I'd love to give you a free workbook, and it's called the How to Be a Biz and Blog Star, and it's my journey of finding that passion, that joy inside me, and then how I've turned it into a business as well, and kept my soul along the way. And it's about my journey of how I've managed to create such a thriving tribe. We've got 60,000 people on my mailing list now, and it's definitely, how do I say this? It's not a crappy ebook by any means. It's 70 pages long. It is just full of art, and it's really beautifully designed. And so many of my people will say, oh, you know what, that ebook that you gave out, that's actually still my favorite thing of yours, even on top of your paid products. And I'm like, I love that, and I don't.
Yeah.
So if you just go to blogsuccessworkshop.com, you can get it. And I hope it really serves and inspires everybody who's listening, and gets gets the good juju out of it.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I hope everyone can go ahead and check out Leonie's workbook. The link will be in the email, or is in the email that you received today with this video, so you can access it there or go directly to the website yourself. Leonie, thank you so much for joining us here today. I feel like we could stay on and play a lot longer, but I want to be respectful of everybody's time, and I really appreciate you joining us. Do you have any last words or anything that you want to share with our audience?
Oh, bless. Thank you so much, Kim. I'm really honored. And I think that this event is so important that we just keep on talking about this and making sure that the success that we're going after is our own, not somebody else's, and definitely not our parents, because we can be so influenced by what our parents think is going to be successful. As a funny aside, I remember saying to my dad at one point, and I felt like I had to come out to him, like come out of the closet, and I said to him, Dad, I've decided I'm going to be an artist. And he said to me, and his response was, there's no money in that. And I said, well, you're a farmer, and there's no money in farming either, so I guess I come from a long line of dreamers. And he went, and blessed, like I just, I tried to keep it lighthearted and just go, you know what, it's okay, because he made his career choices, and they're definitely not about money, because farming for him is definitely his lifestyle, because he's a man of the earth. And to claim that, you know what, for me to be an artist and to be a writer, that's my way of living in the earth. And guess what? It's made me ridiculously rich. So don't buy into what other people say is possible and doable for you, because it's 100% not true. That's just their experience of life, and you can do it however you want to do it.
I don't have, I have nothing else to say. That was incredible what you just shared. I hope everybody hears that. That is just beautiful. Thank you, Leonie, so much for joining us here today. Thank you to all of our listeners for the Secrets of Total Life Success. I hope you're enjoying the series as much as I am. There are some incredible, real life, successful people that are just sharing just words of wisdom that I hope really help break down the meaning of what success is to you, and the fact that it's not all some perfect life trajectory, and that we're learning and growing. And like Leonie said, when something doesn't go well, we celebrate it. Okay, I learned from that, and I won't do that again. I love how you said that. So thank you all for joining me here today. If you need to reach out or you have any questions, you can email me, kim@kimjonescoaching.com. Reach out to Leonie with any questions you have about her workbook, and access that as soon as you're able to. And have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you so much, Leonie. Bye. Have a great day. Okay, we will see you all real soon, and thanks for being here today. Bye-bye.